Hello dear viewers, and welcome back to this video on Spreadsheet. Today we'll explore together how to create a budget template using Odoo. Something important to keep in mind for this flow is that there are many different features impacting your spreadsheet. In this case, you will need analytical accounting, and according to your own activities, you might need MRP, project, or other apps installed. So, since I'm selling kitchens that are made based on specific measurements made in the client's house, it is really hard for me to estimate exactly how much each component will cost. But I respect the price on my quotations. Therefore, it's super important for me to keep track of the cost I am incurring. Keeping this in mind, let's go ahead and see what it looks like on our database. Okay, so I'm here on my Odoo database, and I have two sales that I have made for my custom projects, some really good sale order. They are quite similar, but I will need to be sure that I will split the work correctly between the two sales order here. So we have one for John Baylor for 2,000 euros approximately, and one for 4,000 euros. And on this sales order, I have different things. I have, first of all, a service, the tailor-made kitchen service, which will create me a project where I will be able to design the plans and be sure that I address each of the specific points I need to address into my project. I have some storable products and some custom-made countertops that I will need to manufacture on my own. So let's go ahead and confirm the sales order because I know they've been confirmed. In this case, you will see it will create me a project with tasks and some deliveries. I will confirm the second one. Okay, so now that I have made the sales order, I will need to be sure that I'm tracking the cost that are coming for each of these different work centers that I create. So for this, I already created a first budget that I want to keep in mind that I have in the document application. So this will be for one of my sales order with specific amounts that I already budgeted for each of my cost centers. So this is where we will want to compute the actuals and fill in to be able to see are we staying on target or not. The first step for my whole flow on how to get these actuals is to create an analytic plan. So I will go here into the analytic plans, and you will see that I already created two analytic plans. Well, the projects plan, which is there by default, which will take all of the analytic accounts that are created automatically when I create a project linked to a sales order. And then a second one, which is based on the work category, on which I created already 8 different accounts, which are all of the cost centers or the work category centers that I can have on my kitchen projects. So you will find here the same kind of spaces, the same kind of categories that I found on my sale order, so that electrical, miscellaneous, or plumbing. So this was the first step, creating my accounts and my analytic plans. Now I'm ready to actually use this into my database. So first thing I will do is to focus on the custom-made countertop that I needed to create. So for that, let's jump into the manufacturing application and start creating my countertop from scratch. I don't need a bill of material because this is a really custom item. So I will create the bill of material on the fly when I need one. So in this case, I will select that I want to make a custom-made countertop, and I will select what I need. So I know that I will need some plank, some big one, then some smaller planks as well, about probably 12 of them, a blue stone of type size 200 times 100, so 1 unit, and some screws. Probably about 24 of them. Okay, so what is really important here is that my products has to be in a product category which has a right costing method. So in this case, it's first in, first out. So my product's cost will be impacted based on the purchase that I've made. And this is the cost that will impact my budget in the end. So it's really the purchase that will impact your budget. To be sure to impact your budget as well, you will need to be sure to select the right analytic account and the right analytic distribution into the miscellaneous tab by going here into the analytic distribution, saying to which projects this is going to be related to. So in this case, this will be the one for James Beaumont, and the work category. So I'm creating a content top, so I will select the content top here. Percentage will be 100 because I affect all of the cost to these accounts. So let's save this, and I'm happy with my manufacturing order. I can confirm and produce it. And the impact of that it will have created analytic items that I will find here into my list of analytic items, and you will see the specific products have all impacted my analytic items. Okay, so now that I have these analytic items here, I will want to input that into my spreadsheet to be able to compare this amount with my budget. So for that, let's go into the pivot mode and group by work category. So this is the plan I created. It will appear here directly. I also need to be sure that I will filter on the right sales order. I will do that after I've inserted my spreadsheet. So first of all, let's put it into my budget spreadsheet. And now this spreadsheet is based on this sale order here. So let's correct the source of data here to be sure that the domain says that my projects, so this is the analytic plan, is in this sale order for James Beaumont. So by doing this, I ensure that I only take the values for James Beaumont, and I still find the values for my content tops. Okay, so now I need to match this amount with the categories that I defined in my budget before. So for that, I need a last small operation. I will go back to the list of my analytic accounts. So for that, I will first go to my analytic plan on the work category, go to my analytic account, and I will want to insert this list into the spreadsheet here of the budget. And the goal of doing this is to get a specific field, which is the ID, and I will extend here to get the ID for each of my accounts. Why did I do this? Because if we look at the formula that we have here, we have three different things into my formula. First, my data source, which is the pivot number 1. Then we say that we want the amount for this specific domain. And the domain will be my plan, so my work category, for the analytic account that has the ID number 14. So I want to replicate this kind of formula for each of my IDs. So first, let's create here a small column where I will get the ID for each of my different cost centers here. So let's do this by getting a VLOOKUP of this value in this range. So those two columns, I get the second value, and they are not sorted. So I can just pull down this here. I'm just gonna add a if and a function to be able to find nothing if the value is not defined. And I will get the specific IDs for each of my cost centers. Okay, so now that I have that, I can copy this formula here, input it where I want it, and instead of selecting the ID 14, I will refer to this specific ID here, which returns an empty cell because I do not have a value here at the moment. So I will just copy this formula everywhere here, and you will see that the only one that is filled in at the moment is the one for the content tops, because this on the only impact I have on my budget at the moment. I will also just complete the residual, so meaning what I have on my budget minus what I have here, or plus to be exact, because my amount will be negative. So this one I can just also down. We'll copy it here as well. And the last thing I want to do is to compute the amount of residuals, of the percentage of what is residual. So this will be equal to this amount over this one here in percentage, like this. And also I need a small if error function to avoid having this error showing up because I'm dividing by 0. So I will just add this function here, and this will get me the percentage of remaining budget that I can use on each of those cost centers.
Thank you, that looks very nice, Hugo. So what if I have other costs? How will it impact my budget?
Well, we can see that I just received a vendor bill from one of my electrical subcontractors. So let's jump in the accounting application and check the vendor bills. Here we have the vendor bill from Uruka Electricity, which is invoicing us for the electrical installation in this case. So they invoiced us for 300 euros. This is unconfirmed yet, so I can change the analytic distribution, and this is what is really important here, because I know this is related to the same case that we did before. So I will input here that this is related to James Beaumont project and goes to the electrical. So 100% of this amount will be saved. So I can now save this and confirm. And once I've done this, we can go and check the impact on the budget, not in the dashboard, but in the documents here. And we will see that now we have an electrical actuals for minus 300 euros, and that our budget is now in negative. So I went over my budget. I need to be really careful with this subcontractor. Here you go. Our budget is ready. That's it for now. See you next time.